Greetings, all my social media friends and family. Tonight I want to talk about the lack of structure in our communities. The black communities, the urban communities. They talk about generational wealth, getting out the communities. But these communities is more like a curse, a spell on us. The black man can't work together for nothing. There's so much hatred in the world. There's so much hatred amongst us. We hate each other. We hate our women hate us. So with all that going on, all this hatred, how you expect to raise children and keep them pure in their heart when you have the black woman on the phones and on social media talking bad about the black man in front of the children? The black man, he's dealing with multiple women, he's being a player, and he's not caring, he's doing all this in front of the kids. So the kids is getting raised confused. Whether it's a boy or a girl, it's still confusion. There's no structure, and there's no guidance, and there's no limitations. I remember growing up, my mother used to say when she was talking to my aunts or her friends, like, boy, get out of here. You see grown folks talking? Now just the parents just do things freely and have no care about what the kid hear, what the kids see. And it's both sides. I'm talking about the men and I'm talking about the women. It's both sides. We don't realize how we damaging the kids and how it affects our kids. The lack of guidance. You can't tell them nothing. When they get older, you try to tell them something positive, and they be like, they talk back to you like, you telling me this, why you ain't use that advice, that positive advice for yourself? And you like, wow. And it be true. These little kids are super smart. 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. They understand more than what we know, more than what we believe. I had a talk with my son and my grandson today as far as respect. If somebody tell you to do something, they older, and you don't like it, you do it. You have a problem with it, you come, you let me know, you let your mother know, you let an adult that you trust know. But even if that adult is wrong and they telling you to do something that's not appropriate, well, I can't say appropriate. If they tell you, oh, take out the garbage or clean that up, and you have an attitude, it might not been your mess. But at the same time, that's an adult telling you what to do, and you don't talk back, you don't get fly. You do what you got to do. And then you come back and say, Daddy, Auntie, or such and such had me clean up the living room, but I didn't make that mess. And let me address the situation, because the child doesn't know if they talk back whether they was right or wrong. They became wrong because they disrespected that adult. So I was trying to school my kids about respect, respecting the elderly. Don't talk back to the elderly. And I'm not going to have you or put you around people that's going to take advantage of you. So my kids is going to be around family, loved ones. So if they tell you to do something, you need to listen. These kids now, they ignore you, they talk back, and if you pop them upside their head, you wrong. You can't do that. Time out don't do nothing to nobody. Time out don't do nothing to these kids. Some of these kids really need their butt whooped. They need to get popped. I'm not saying abuse them, but they need to understand. Rules, guidelines, structure needs to be set. And it starts from the home, it starts from the house, it starts from the parents. And the funny thing is, the holidays just passed, and most of these kids know there's no Santa Claus, but you sit there and lie to them and tell them, "Oh, Santa's going to bring you the presents. Santa's going to do this. Santa, you know, is going to make sure you get what you want." My kids know I'm Santa. I don't really celebrate the holidays. I'm not supposed to celebrate the holidays because my religion. So I let the kids know I'm Santa. If anything, I'm not going to say no, dude is coming down my chimney, give me your gifts when I bust my butt, go to work every day, and make sure y'all get what you want and you're happy. I'm Santa, if anything. But you sit there and you lie to them, talk about this fairy tale Santa Claus coming with these reindeers, and then they smart enough to know that ain't true. And then you sit there and tell the kids they lying about something. You sit there and tell the kids don't lie. And they talk back and say, well, you lied about Santa Claus. You know it's not no Santa Claus. Now you're going to get mad and say, well, next year you ain't getting nothing for Christmas. Since it ain't no Santa Claus. That ain't the way to get back at the kids. That ain't the way. You tell them, you explain, all right, yeah, I made a lie. This is the way of society. They promote all this holiday, all this Santa Claus stuff. But truth be told, there's no Santa Claus. We understand that. This is all a gimmick for money. But it's all about now, letting them know I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be straight up with you, and you need to be straight up with me. So if you get in trouble in school or something happen, you could talk to me, and we're going to rectify the situation. Who was right, who was wrong. It's having to understand that you don't want to put fear in your kids, and they think, well, if I tell the truth, mommy or daddy's going to beat me. That's not going to put a structure in their life. That's not going to get them the guidance that they need. It's just sitting down explaining them what's wrong and what's right. I tell my kids all the time, I work hard, real hard. So you need to appreciate everything I do, because this is not going to come every day. You got to learn how to accept no, just like you accept yes. And you're going to hear the word yes more than you hear no. I want you to grow up, and when you have kids, teach your kids as well. I don't want you to grow up and be a grown man or be in a grown man's body, but a child mentality, a teenage mentality. Just being selfish. Thinking about, I got a job now, I got to think about me. Because I couldn't get this when I was young because my parents used the excuse, so I was bad, so they didn't buy me this. So now I got my own money. I'm going to buy all my toys, my game system, whatever, and forget about the kids. But you out here laying up with all these different women having multiple kids, multiple baby mothers, but you're not taking on that responsibility. And it still goes back to raising these kids, getting the knowledge, teaching them, creating a structure from bedtime to hygiene. Brush your teeth in the morning when you get up, brush your teeth at night. I lack on some of that as far as the eating structure, a time, set date, every day we're going to eat at this time, we're going to eat at that time. And it's hard for me because I work a swing shift schedule. I'll be 1 week on the midnight, 1 week on the 3 to 11, 1 week on the morning. So my schedule is off. So it's hard without having a partner to really establish certain things. But when I get the chance, I like to talk to my kids so they understand. And I drill them over and over again. Even if I'm telling them the same thing, eventually they'll catch it. And I always let them know, Daddy loves you. And whenever Daddy gets the chance, get the time, Daddy's coming to get you. You're going to hang out with Daddy. So he knows he has somebody that loves him. All these kids, a lot of these kids out here, out in the urban areas, they growing up with single parents, single mothers. They don't know about men. They don't know about, yo, oh, my father did this, my father do this. They don't know these things because 9 times out of 10, you have the female bashing our black men. And it might not even be done purposely. They might be unconscious. They just upset. They angry at the world because they might have really loved this man, but they fell short somewhere, or vice versa. But it's about building up our community. My son, my oldest son, he has a few different baby mothers. And the sad part is that the kids, he don't bring his kids together. Whatever the excuse may be, that the mother don't want the kids around each other, I don't want my son or I don't want my daughter hanging out or being around this other woman. When it's not really about the other woman, it should be about the kids. But I had a little talk with him, and I'm like, yo, listen, I asked him permission, could I bring your kids together? When I pick up your oldest son, could I pick up your youngest son? So they know each other. So they know who their family is, so they can create a bond. They know they got to stick together. And that's like the first steps that I'm taking to build my family structure with the men. I may lack in certain areas, but I know what my future want to be. I know what I want in my future. I want to be successful, and I'm working on that. I want my kids to be successful. I want them to stick together. I want them to know that, like, yo, no matter what's going on in the world, I got your back. We're going to work together. We're going to make it happen. We're going to work hard. I'm trying to get them to have a good work structure. You got to do this, you got to do this, you got to clean up, you got to be mindful of what you're doing. Don't look down on people that you might be doing better than at this point in time, because the struggle is real. Don't look down on nobody. Look up. I asked them what they want to do in life. They're young, they really don't know. They say they want to be this, they want to be that. But one thing I can tell you right now, the black kids in society, they smart enough to know they don't want to be police. When I was young, that was the thing. Oh, I want to be a cop. I want to be a firefighter. I want to go to the army. You ask a black kid these days, they're not saying none of that. And the sad thing about it is, if I ain't get in trouble and I became an officer, I might have been able to make a change in certain communities. I actually sat down and talked to the youth. One day, I would like to be on a podium in a boys' club or school and tell them my story, tell them my struggles, and tell them how I see the world today, where there's no reason to be mad. I accept my faults and I accept my downfall as a learning experience. And if I could teach the youth what I've been through so they could do better and don't have to go through the struggles that I've been through, the in and out of jails, the hatred towards everybody. Because at one time, I hated the black people, I hated the police, I hated the white man. Now, I deal with people as a whole, as a human race. I don't care what color you are. If you cool, you cool. If you have good energy, I'm dealing with you. I don't care what you are. If we have the same views in life, you know, we compatible with each other. We gonna, we gonna bond. We gonna click. And this is what the kids need to see. Because the only thing they see on the news and TV is all hatred. People running over people in truck, killing people, shooting in front of nightclubs, blowing this up, all terrorists, and we going to war. They seeing all that at a young age. From the TV to social media. It's bad. It's time to let kids be kids. That's why every chance I get, I let my kids be kids. I take them to the parks. I take them on trips. I take them to bouncy house. Whatever I could do that I feel to make them happy.